Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and double honors and much respects to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. May Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai's peace be bestowed unto you, hopefully elect. And your brother Yahweh Call from Great Millstone, Orlando, is back with another edition of a chat with the church. Just another spiritual rant. To be honest, I wasn't even planning on doing this as of right now. I was planning on doing this later. But you know how the spirit do what it do. Well, certain events happen to where you might get ready to wind down, chill, take a nap, or whatever the case may be. But certain things happen, particular events happen to where the Lord gets your spirit fired up, and like the scriptures talk about, that fire gets roused up. And a lot of times you can't help. And it's the spirit, the elder Kazak Ya'Allah from Mississippi. He did a video going into, he was touching on how, and again, it's the spirit, because this is something that I've been noticing. It's getting harder. It's getting more difficult to do the work. From the technical difficulties to you name it, it almost gets disencouraging to a point, to an extent, to a point to where you feel like you don't want to do it. You just like, man, you know what? I don't even want to do the video no more. But like the elder was going into, more and more it's becoming a fight. I originally wanted to go live on this, but the spirit decided to where just go ahead and do a pre-recorded video, because for whatever reason, it's got to be Satan, going live. We're trying to go live, and for whatever reason, the volume goes out, or whatever the case may be. You be in the middle of a lesson, doing a lesson, and the app recorder shuts off. That's why a lot of times brothers got to do part 2s, part 3s, but nevertheless, it's a fight altogether. It's getting more difficult to do these videos, to do the work. So like I said, man, I originally wanted to go live. I prefer to go live with these spiritual rants, just to have a more sincere reaction with the church. That's what these are for. Again, it's a spiritual rant, and a combination of things inspired me to do this. Of course, being drowned in my meditation, being drowned in my thoughts, as always. And like King Solomon said, fear the Lord to keep his commandments. But this is our whole purpose as a man, because as men, we have a sense of purpose. There's a sense of duty that we naturally have within us. And of course, being in this world, that sense of duty is, we spend our time and energy gearing it towards the wrong things, trying to be husband of the year and all that nonsense, father of the year and all that nonsense. But of course, it doesn't make sense until we're called into this truth, what our purpose is, and that is to serve Yahweh Bahashem Shai. And in between all of that, because being that we're in this fucked up situation, And this is probably going to be one of those raw videos. All right. And again, to quote the elder Chazak Yala, hey, if you don't like the language, then just get the fuck off the channel, man. Because that is a part of the problem. And that's a part of what inspired me to do this. Because like I quoted King Solomon, hey, it's all vanity and vexation. At the end of the day, we come to the conclusion, we need the kingdom. As our head brother Nahoya always says, we need the kingdom, dog. Because goddamn. Goddamn. Like I said, I watched a series of videos from brothers. I was just watching the brothers from GMS Valdosa, the other brothers out there. There was a few other brothers. You had the one brother, the elder from Chicago. I believe his handle is GMS Chicago Kingdom Come. Roughly paraphrasing, going into how pretty soon, roughly paraphrasing the title. As far as our Clark Kent, basically we're not going to have to put on this mask. That is a part of our vexation, knowing that I made a post. It was a picture of this Edomite looking dude. And it was a selfie. It was a selfie of this Edomite, picture of this Edomite. And then someone commented something along the lines of, "A smile would be nice." And then he responded to that comment, "There's nothing to smile about in my life," something along those lines. And you see, because to tie it all together, like I said, because I also watched my elder out here in Orlando, GMS Orlando, my elder Azaria, watching his video. I believe he did a spiritual rant. I believe it was a spiritual rant. I forgot the title of the video. But it was basically a spiritual rant, and he was touching in his video about how the people at his job, man, because that's one common thing that we hear all the time. You should smile more. Why don't you smile? You always look so mean. Why are you so mean? Why are you not happy? And so on and so forth. To land back off that post that I made, because it's just like, what is there to be happy about? Now, don't get me wrong, we are content. All right, we are content. Don't get me wrong, we are grateful for what Yahweh Shemel Shah has given us. We are grateful. But as far as being happy and all that lovey-dovey, miss me with that bullshit. Miss us with that bullshit. The scriptures say the elect love not their lives unto the death, because this is not life, and we're not living. Again, this is not the kingdom, to quote King Solomon. We need the kingdom, dog, because goddamn, man, we need the kingdom. So, like I said, just a combination of things. Man, and it's just like, aren't you brothers ready to rule? Aren't brothers ready to rule, to be in this position of leadership? Because part of the fuel to this fire that's in me right now to do this video is the kingdom. Again, the kingdom, the king's dome, the king's domicile. What does that consist of? Rulership on earth. Start with Yahweh Shai first and foremost. And those men, Lord willing, we are a part of that number. We are striving to be of that number. Right? Because Again, like I said, it's a spiritual rant. I'm going to be all over the place, so forgive me. There's a lot of precepts coming and going. So, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah, I'm going to try to dial in and get through this. That's why I wanted to the spirit made me to pre-record this. Lord willing, there's no interference or anything. I know my battery's getting low soon, so I got enough. I should be good. But again, another one of those things that kind of fire me up through the spirit. I ain't sleep yet, so you know I'm a bit groggy. You can say I'm grumpy, whatever. I'm tired. Lord willing, I don't fall asleep on this. Well, I'm not live, so if I do fall asleep, I could just cut the camera. Inside joke. You know, you gotta have a little laugh, man. Shit's getting so bad, man. Shit is getting so bad. Sometimes, you know, in my father time, I just take some time out to just watch some comedy or something that's funny. And it takes a lot for me to really, because, you know, and I'm sure I speak for brothers, but just being so goddamn tense and uptight, I guess you could say, if that's the word. Because again, like I was just mentioning, you know, a common thing that people see, because it's getting harder and harder to hold back. I'll say that too. It's getting more and more difficult to hold back. Because again, like I said, I was watching the elders from GMS Valdosta. They did a land back off of who I mentioned, the elder from Chicago, as far as the Clark Kent, and how soon we're not going to have to dumb ourselves down for these people. So the elders from Valdosta, they did the video response off of that, and they were going into the whole term of what was it, man? They were going into the whole term, and it hit right on the money. It was right on the money. When you watch the elders videos, man, it was right on the money, because that fits us to a T. Lowering our vibration. Again, dumbing ourselves down, pretending to fit in, and all these things. And like I said, it's getting more and more difficult to hide the fact. It's getting more and more difficult. So with that being said, hey, brothers in the mean mugging, man. Brothers be mean mugging. People could sense that, hey, there's something different about these guys, man. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to fuck with this dude. I don't want to get in this dude, so I don't want to piss this guy off. There's something about this guy. And that's how it's supposed to be, goddammit. That's how it's supposed to be. These people, they're supposed to sense that power. They're supposed to feel that power. Because, especially when it comes to these Edomites, when they see Jake, in particular brothers, when they see brothers, they're supposed to because it's like when you as I've been saying as of lately, you know, using this comparison, or not comparison, but pointing out the fact that when you when an Edomite, you're walking down the street and Esau's coming from the opposite direction, they're supposed to get nervous. They're supposed to get nervous. The Shedemites, they're supposed to clutch that purse. They're supposed to flip that purse on the other side. They're supposed to. These people, they're supposed to be nervous because they sense that vibration. Because whether brothers know it or not, brothers are vibrating. You know, brothers are on a high frequency. right? I'm gonna grab this real quick. And Isaiah 51, one of my favorites. Because what do these people like to say? Especially these weak ass, poor excuse of a woman. All right, and I can't even say woman, because a woman, a real woman, she knows her place. A real woman, she serves. So to these, like the elder Amawanga Bar from the main camp says, these females, these bitches, right? Like they mainly like to talk shit about talking about I'm cut from a different cloth. Bitch, you're a whole menstrual, you're a whole tampon. You're talking about you're cut from a different cloth, right? You're a whole tampon, filthy as hell. And that applies to all these people, right? But in response to that, I like to read this here in Isaiah 51. It's like it. Please bear with me. Like I said, it's getting, well, to quote the elder, man, it's getting more and more difficult to do these videos, man, to do the work. Because these allergies, which is nothing but demons, man, you know, all this mucus and shit, it accumulates, man. When I'm getting ready to do a video, I'll be fine throughout the day, but it never gets old. When I'm about to do a video, like I said, man, it's nothing but demons. So bear with me. But in Isaiah 51:1, hearken to me, ye that follow after righteousness, ye that seek Yahweh, look unto the rock whence ye are hewn, into the hole of the pit whence ye are digged. So, essentially, the elect are the truly the ones that are cut from a different cloth, so to say. You see, people talk about some. Oh, I'm cut from a different napkin, whatever. The elect are the truly the ones that are cut from a different cloth. All right, and this is pure silk. All right, 100% silk. All right. So, in shorter terms, the elect are special. The elect are truly special. In Isaiah, Hawah by Shemel Shai. You see, so to help these people and what they're talking about, man. But like I was saying, because these people, they sense that vibration, they sense it. And like I said, they're supposed to get nervous when brothers come around, because you know, and it's cold, because there's something to where basically you have this form of PTSD that in a way it transcends it. How do I say this? Because Jake naturally Jake, and I'm talking about in this generation, because a lot of us, we didn't experience chattel slavery. Well, let me correct myself. In this lifetime, we didn't experience chattel slavery in this lifetime. All right. Because more than likely, a lot of us were, you know, going through chattel slavery. We went through chattel slavery, but that was then. I'm talking about in this lifetime, we didn't experience chattel slavery. So with that being said, some of that trauma that brothers went through during that time period, it transitions over into this lifetime, because making a point naturally, Jake, whenever a so-called white man or white woman comes around, Jake naturally they dumb themselves down, because Jake has a natural confidence about themselves. Jake has a natural confidence about themselves. But whenever the so-called white man comes around, Jake, it's like they throw all that shit out the window. Jake forgets. So what does Jake do? They lower their vibration. They shrug their shoulders. They drop the shoulders. They drop their head. Because like I said, and I said this before, because there is some trauma, there is some PTSD that we've been through before, and it carries through onto us into this lifetime. A lot of Jake is afraid of water, being around a large body of water, and more than likely, a lot of times that's because Jake hates water. Jake hates to swim, and a lot of times that, more than likely, that could have been because you might have been one of those Jakes that was thrown overboard during that whole carrying, from the ships. The scripture say, we'll grab that in Isaiah, I think that's 22. Isaiah 22 in the verse Isaiah 22 and 17. Behold, the Lord will carry thee away with a mighty captivity, and will surely cover thee. He will surely violently turn and toss thee like a ball into a large country. So again, going into that chattel slavery, when Esau was carrying Jake's over, grabbing Jake up, mainly from the west parts of Africa, and bringing him over here to the western part of the world, right, to the Americas. But that trip, a lot of Israelites died. A lot of Israelites were thrown overboard, drowned. So that trauma carried, in some cases, or maybe a lot of cases, it carries over to in this lifetime. So some of that PTSD, man, that's why in certain cases, a lot of Jake, they're afraid of water. When they drive around bodies of water, man, they get nervous. Like I just mentioned with Esau, you got Jakes, man, they don't give, there's certain Jakes out there, they don't give two shits about Esau. But there's certain Jakes that, for whatever reason, sometimes that reason being that, Jake was some Jakes were lynched by Esau, Edomites, put to death by Esau, Edomites, going to, child slavery and things of that nature. So to those Jakes that had to suffer that had to deal with that had to bear that, some of those Jakes that are here today and had to live through that, suffer that, that's why some Jakes, like I was just saying, some Jakes naturally, when they walk by an Edomite, a so-called white person, man, naturally they just it's like an act of submission. They just, they dumb themselves down. They lower their vibration. They lose that confidence. They bow their head and shit. But the fact that we're in a time now where, especially when it comes to brothers, all right, because Esau, he has a sense of entitlement, dog. And again, like I was saying before earlier, that's a part of what motivated me to do this video. That's that fire that the Lord sparked in me to do this video, because I was going to do this later. Just as far as why we need the kingdom, because boy, I was driving, man, And on this part of town, there's a particular area where, you know, you have a lot of Edomites. There's a lot of trails on this part of town, so you have a lot of Edomites, a lot of Jake, but a lot of Edomites. And I like to shop at this particular store, or in this particular area, because to be real and to be fair, you know, when it comes to Jake, man, I don't want to be around Jake. So I go to this part of town, this section of the town. So that was the case this morning. Soon as I got off work, that was the case this morning. And I take this particular route because it's off in the cut. It's off in the cut. Again, Edomites be back there, so I'll take this particular route. I drive this particular route. And today, again, this is a part of the fire that ignited in me. Because boy, again, we need the kingdom. And again, aren't you Jakes ready to rule? Aren't you Jakes tired? Aren't brothers tired? Because a lot of shit goes on in this so-called life that we live. And a lot of Jake knows that this shit is not natural. Jake knows that this, what is this? Jake knows this shit don't sit right with Jake in his spirit. You know? Again, it doesn't make sense. It only makes sense when we are called into this truth. So as I'm going on this route, taking this route, I always take this route. There's a route, like I said, it's a trail. So Edomites, there's a trail on one side, and houses, apartments, luxury apartments on the other side. So it's not but Edomites. So you got the Jakes jogging and shit. Esau, Edomites jogging, and all I'm doing is claiming heathens, claiming slaves, Shedemites, the whole shebang. But as I'm taking this route, man, again, it's a 2-lane street, 2 lanes, and in the middle you got the median. It's not like it's a narrow road. You know, there is some distance. Like I said, you got the 2 lanes that go to opposite one another, the eastbound and the westbound. And of course in the middle you got the median, all the plants, people can walk. So you got the benches and stuff. It's nice. So I'm taking this route, man, and as I'm driving, I'm going the east route, and I see it, but you know, I don't make nothing of it. But I see this Edomite walking his dog, and he's on the whole other side of the street. He's on the whole other side of the street, barely about to cross the westbound. He's nowhere near coming into my lane. But because he has that sense of entitlement, and he expected me to slow down, and it wasn't like I was speeding. It's a 25 mile per hour zone. I wasn't even doing 25 miles per hour. And it's not even a big deal. It almost became a big deal because again, he felt the need to he had that sense of entitlement, as if I had to stop for his fat ass to cross the whole street. So being that he had this sense of entitlement, you know, he's looking at me as I'm driving by. Like I said, I'm not speeding. Like I said, if he was at least in the middle, the median, the middle part, what separates the lanes, I would have stopped. But the fact that he's on the other side of the street, barely crossing the westbound. I'm going eastbound. He's barely crossing the westbound, the west part, you know, or basically the opposite direction. He felt the need to. He tried to. And maybe he did. But that sense of entitlement, this Edomite had the nerve to try to throw something at my car. He felt the nerve, he felt the need to throw something at my car because he had that entitlement. Like, I need to stop, even though his fat ass is all the way on the other side of the street, looking at me crazy as I'm driving by, and I didn't, it was nothing. I mean, and that's why I always say, when it comes down to it, I tell brothers all the time, hey, let these people have it. Because these people, they are nothing but fuel to the fire. Let these people have it. I tell brothers that all the time. Let them have it. As long as there's no immediate danger to you or your loved ones, let them have it. But it's easier said than done. That's why the scriptures talk about how the Lord is going to exalt us in due time. We have to walk with humility. And essentially that walking humbly, it goes into humiliation. Because in this thing of ours, there's going to be a lot of so-called L's, what you would call losses, and they're really lessons. Because, like I said, the initial reaction, like I said, nothing happened. I mean, he tried to throw something at my car, he didn't, so I just let it be. I just kept driving. I just laughed, because essentially, overall, I'm gonna see that. I'm gonna see that hunky. I'm gonna see that peckerwood. I'm gonna see him. And boy, do I got some special tasks for that. To that boy. I've got some special tasks for that boy. I'll be passing his ass around to brothers. Ooh wee. I didn't think much of it, But to be honest, the real problem, the real struggle was, and like, again, because I mentioned, I was watching one of my elders here in Orlando, big bruv Azaria, watching his video, or I saw his video rather, last night on the plantation. And he was touching on how someone at his job was like I said, asking him what was wrong. Why don't you smile? You need to smile. And he made the statement about how, well, I'll say this. He made the fact hey, as kings, we shouldn't be working. You see, and that's a part of our vexation. That's why we need the kingdom. We shouldn't be working. We're kings, priests. We come from royalty. And the elder he said something along those lines, because everyone's always asking him, why don't you smile? So on and so forth. We all hear that shit. And again, it's like, what is it to smile about? Like I said, don't get me wrong, we are content. We are grateful. But what is it to smile about? What is it to be happy about? Basically, when he pointed that out, when he made that fact about, hey, as a king, man, we shouldn't be working. As kings, we shouldn't work. And I believe it was an Israelite woman that asked him that question. And when he made that statement, that factual statement, the bitch laughed. Like, and that's how these people see us, That's how these people see us. Like, nigga, you ain't no king. You ain't no king. Right? And that made me feel some type of way. And that's what I was saying earlier. Aren't you Jakes ready to rule? Aren't you Jakes ready to? Because Jake, like I said, Jake knows in his spirit this shit is not right. Jake knows this shit ain't right. But because, hey, the power's not in our hand right now. The ball's not in our court right now. Jake, hey, we have no choice but to just, hey. But that's the point that I'm making. Hey, now we're coming back into our true powerhood. We're coming back into our true power. Hey, like I was saying, all this rambling, like I was saying, hey, especially when it comes to brothers. Brothers ain't finna be, listen, if Edomite walks by, they expect you to lower your head and all that shit. I'm gonna look you dead in your eye. I don't know what you want. I don't know what you got. I don't know if you're gonna try to, do some stupid shit. So I'm gonna look you dead in your eye. Like my beloved bruh, Damawati said, hey, I'm gonna look you in your eye until, basically until the point till I don't see you no more. I'm gonna acknowledge the fact I see you, you see me, we see each other, because I don't know what you're gonna do. I don't, you don't know these people. You can't trust these people, man. And I'd rather you take an offense rather than anything else. You get offended. I can care less. Go ahead and get offended. But I'm gonna look you in your eye and listen. Esau, they don't like that. They don't like that shit. It's uncomfortable because they're used to, like I said, Jake, man, they lower their shoulder and shit, man. The hell with all that. So going back to this whole this whole Peckerwood. And again, to quote my elder Isaiah, man, he brought that information out about how, because Jake is so used to calling these crackers, but in a sense, man, that's almost giving them credit. When you go into the history, that's almost giving them credit. That's almost hyping them up. Esau, they really get offended when you call them, when those certain of those proverbs like Peckerwoods and the hunkies and so on and so forth. I call them pink bitches because that's what they are, a bunch of pink bitches. Red Hebrew Edomites. So this devil, like I said, the real struggle was initially, you got it, dog. As long as you ain't fuck up my shit or whatever the case may be, I let it be. The real struggle was, hey, wait a minute, did he just really try that? And the real struggle was not turning back over, pulling over, catching up to that hunky, that Peckerwood, and beating it, and just punching the shit out of him. That was the real struggle. Turning my ass around, following his ass, and punching the shit out of him, punching him dead in his shit. That was the real struggle. That was the real struggle. But you see, with all that being said, all this rambling, because boy, goddamn, we need the kingdom again. Aren't you Jakes ready to rule, man? Aren't you Jakes ready to rule? Aren't you Israelite men ready to rule? Aren't you Jakes ready to rule? Like it says here in Deuteronomy. This has been on my mind lately. Deuteronomy 15. Deuteronomy 15:6. For Yahweh thy power blesseth thee, as he promised thee, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, but thou shalt not borrow. And thou shalt reign over many nations, but they shall not reign over thee. So you talk about power. What does the kingdom consist of? Rulership, goddammit. Here it is again. And again, it makes sense. That's why we understanding the environment, understanding the times that we're in. This is Esau's kingdom. So, as a judge, and just being men of understanding, listen. We get it. We get it. All right, this is Esau's kingdom. We just gotta blend in. we gotta take a lot of shit, deal with a lot of shit, bite our tongues and turn the other cheeks. Because that's a part of our vexation. Why don't y'all smile? Well, what is there to smile about? Our enemies rule over us. Like I just said, Esau with his entitlement, his pride, looked down on Jake. And here it is. And this is something that pisses me off. I see this shit all the time. Esau walking by and shit. And like I said, Jake, man, they want to dumb themselves down and shit. That shit pisses me off. And I'll be honest, I do it sometimes. And I'll say this, more and more, it's becoming far few in between. Because, Esau, man, they try to seek that validation Esau want to smile in your face, and I don't give him no smile, man. I don't give you no smirk. I ain't finna smile in your face. I'm finna be a stone cold motherfucker. I ain't finna smile in your face, but every now and then I'll do it. You know, every now and then. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you know, it's okay. Every now and then I do that shit still, but for the most part, hey. Move it along, you know. Get the fuck out my face. And of course, we don't say shit, but that's why I said it's getting harder and harder to hide how we feel, because we be thinking certain things, you know, but we don't say shit. But our expression says it all. Esau, they don't like that shit. It makes them uncomfortable, and they're supposed to be uncomfortable. Like I said, they're supposed to be uncomfortable. They're supposed to be uncomfortable, and that's a part of our fixation. Like I said, Esau walking down the street, Jake act all tough and shit, but as soon as the so-called white man walks by, oh, yes sir, yes sir, yes boss, yes master, and the elder from GMS Valdosta, man, he was making that point, because to an extent we have to fake the phone. To an extent. Hey, we have to be harmless as doves. Why is the serpents but harmless as doves? We have to fake the funk a little bit to an extent, but boy, because that's a part of our vexation. The fact that, you know, we can't be who we are, being these caged lions. Jake can't really express themselves. We gotta dumb ourselves down for these people, right? It's vexing. And that's the point that I'm making. Like, aren't you Jakes ready to be yourselves? Be who you are, the lions that you are? Aren't you ready to conquer? Aren't you ready to rule? Aren't you ready? It's like, God damn. We need the kingdom, man. We need the kingdom. We have no continuing city. This is not our rest. We are just pilgrims. And like I was saying in the beginning, because make no mistake about it, we hate this place. We hate our lives. Like the scriptures say, thinking not strange when you fall into these diverse tribulations. Roughly paraphrasing, because listen, at the end of the day, all Israelites deal with the curses, but the Lord puts his men through a special type of hell. Being unplugged from this matrix, brothers deal with, the Lord puts his men through a special type of hell that the average Israelite will not be able to deal with. All Israelites deal with the curses, but what the elect have to go through is more. Is the average Israelite wouldn't be able to deal with it. Brothers deal with a lot. Brothers juggle a lot. You wonder what? Hey, you got your woman trying to. Why don't you just talk to me? Explain. Let me listen. If the Lord give you an inkling, as far as a piece of a brother's mind, you won't be able to handle it. And I always put it like this. You want to know what a man of the Lord deals with? And I'm talking about the women. You want to know what a man of the Lord deals with? Ask a man what it feels like to be pregnant. Ask a man what it feels like to be pregnant. That's a feeling that as a man, we're never going to know. We're on this side, we're not going to understand. We're not going to understand. We don't understand. We're not going to understand. That's just a feeling we're never going to know. So apply that same logic, that same concept as far as trying to pick a man, trying to pick a mind, trying to pick the mind of a man of the Lord. You're just never going to know. You're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. Brothers deal with a lot. Being watchmen, right? Being watchmen. And that's on top of everything else that brothers got to deal with, man, from physical infirmities, whatever, man. Whatever brothers deal with. Brothers got to, man, it's a lot. Brothers deal with a lot. Brothers got heavy burdens, man. And, you know, that's something that I've been praying for, that myself and the other like-minded Akim hope for the elect that the Lord just continue to strengthen brothers in our lots, man. Because goddamn, and it just makes me think about what Yahushua, what he had to go through, because he had to drink the full cup. We drink our little sippy cups, but hey, you know, we don't have to drink. We didn't have to drink the full cup like Yahushua. So it just, you know, it just makes me think like, damn, because you got these guys wanting to be the top guy, being in Yahushua's position, and listen, hell, you got guys trying to be in the position of the seat of the apostles, Apostle Tahar, Apostle Gabar, so on and so forth, and you want to be able to deal with that. So how much more Yahushua's his seat, his cup? You know, you guys these people just don't understand. You don't know nothing, man. You don't know them. You don't know nothing. But goddamn, we need the kingdom. We need the kingdom ASAP. Cause goddamn, driving this goddamn car. There's one thing or another. Driving this goddamn car, man. And every little thing, it's like notification pops up, and it's like, goddamn, you don't have to remind me. Shit, Jake is drowning in debt as it is. And every time you jump in the goddamn car, these electric vehicles is letting you know, hey, you gotta take care of this. A service engine light's coming on, the check engine light. It's like, goddamn. And it with these newer cars, it tells you exactly what it is. It's like, goddamn, you don't have to keep reminding me. Like, shit, it's just always something, goddamn. And you wonder why brothers are so vexed. His brothers are being oppressed on all sides. So again, what is there to smile about? What is there to smile about? What is there to be happy about? Now again, we are content, right? Like it says in Hebrews 13. Hebrews 13 and 5. Let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have. For he hath said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. So be content, all right? The Lord's going to give us enough. Just enough. You know, that's a part of our daily prayer. As far as the Our Father's prayer, give us this day our daily bread, which we should be praying every day. The Our Father's prayer. All right? But nevertheless, we're content. Because that's why, again, making the distinguishing the fact that we are grateful, we appreciate, we are appreciative. But at the end of the day, this is not it. We need the kingdom. This is not it, goddamn. This is not it. Again, man, you know, gotta dumb ourselves down. Brothers catching hell on all fucking sides, dog. A lot of the afflictions be from our own people. People that we're supposed to love, so-called love. Because if it wasn't for Yahweh Shema Shah, I don't know what. Man, it's something I ponder on every day, dog. Because man, if it wasn't for Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah's love, real love, and I get that through the brothers. I was just thinking about that this morning. Like, man, you know, the Lord has allowed me to grow so much, shown me so much. You know, coming through brothers, man, the brothers that I'm able to fellowship with, my camp, because there's a piece of Yahushua in every brother, for sure. There's a piece of Yahushua in every brother. And this is like, damn. If it wasn't for brothers, man, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, I don't know where I would be right now, man. I really don't know where I would be right now, dog. And it wouldn't be in a good place. Knowing my background, knowing where I come from. You know, I've been in mental health institutions. You know, trying to basically take the coward way out, man. I've been there, done that shit. You know, everybody has their testimony. If it wasn't for brothers, dog, through the spirit of the Lord, I don't know where I'll be. I don't know where. I wouldn't know what love is, because when I hear when I hear I don't even like uttering those words. It's almost like uttering the names Jesus. I cringe when I hear those names. When I hear that name, when I hear that name Jesus, I cringe. It makes me want to smack the closest Edomite, the first Edomite that I see. When I hear that name, I hate that name. I hate Jesus. Fuck Jesus Christ. And I feel the same way when I hear that word love. People in this world, I love you. I love you. I hate that fucking word. I hate that word. Because these people don't know what love is. These people don't know what love is, man. You know, when you apply your how about Shemal Shai's love, hey, you never go wrong. And I only get that through brothers. I only get that through brothers. And I will only tell brothers I love them. I love brothers. I love brothers, man. And that says a lot. Because especially my attitude, my spirit, I'm really shut off. I'm really shut off to myself. I just don't care about none of these people. I don't care about this place. I don't care about nothing other than brothers doing the work. And so much that when I get around brothers, I be talking too much because, you know, you're just going about your daily life, man, and you're just going through the motion. You just, like I said, man, I'm cut off. I'm real just to myself. But when I come around brothers, I tend to talk too much because, hey, that's the only time that's the only time brothers get to be themselves is when they're around brothers. So I be talking too much, and that's something I'm trying to work on, man. I talk too goddamn much when I'm around brothers. I get excited. And that's something I've been noticing, you know. Being in the spirit and being excited, being overly excited. That's something I'm realizing about myself. Because I get excited when I get around brothers. You know, what's the Thursday, man? Hey, shit, it's about to be Saturday. Before we know it, hey, about to be with the brothers again. You know, weeks are going by quick. Wadi how about Shemal Shai? But outside of that, and other than these dogs, you know, hey, what is love? You know, fuck love. According to this world and to these people. But, you know, hey, that's why we need the kingdom. That's why we need the kingdom, man. Speaking of being content, what's that? 1 Timothy. And that's why we just gotta hold on. We just gotta hold on. Because again, the water Yahweh Shemal Shai said every day, the water Yahweh Shemal Shai, that this is not the end all be all, man. Because god damn, if this was it, if this was all life had to offer, and I said this before, I see why this whole crash out culture. I see as judges, we get it, we understand. We don't justify it, but we get it. We get it. We get it. Because, man, that's why we need the kingdom. We need the kingdom. But in 1 Timothy 6, so that's 6. But godliness with contentment is great gain. So basically, man, hey, putting on the fruits of the spirit, hey, you can never go wrong with that. You know, putting on the fruits of the spirit. Meekness, humility, which again, like I said, humility, going back to that humiliation, gotta deal with a lot, suffer a lot, take a lot of shit on the chin, turn the other cheeks a lot of times. Like I said, that Edomite man, this motherfucker threw something, or at least attempted to throw something at my car, man. And the fact that the fact that it's eating me up, I wanted to turn around and punch that motherfucker in his face. Punch him dead in his shit. I wanted to punch him dead in his shit. Straight up. But, hey, it's not the time. Alright? It's not the time. This is not the time. Can't render evil for evil. And that shows forth our faith, because, boy, like I said, man, the fact that I didn't, you know, act out in carnality, that's why it's a fight every day. That's why it's a fight every day, because the fact that I didn't act out on carnality, that's what's eating me up. That's what's eating me up. The fact that I didn't turn around and punch that nigga in his shit. That's what's eating me up. But it's all right. It's all right. In due time. In due time. Hey, the Lord don't let shit slide. Because, hey, you know, when I go home, I'm going to take a nap and I'm going to forget about it, you know. But the beautiful thing about it is the Lord didn't forget. The Lord didn't forget. And I say this all the time. That's why the Lord is going to have to put his spirit on us. Because, boy, Jake, man, we forget. We get complacent. We curse the so-called white man out on Saturday night. But hey, we have to work with the devils in the morning. Sunday morning, we have to work for these devils. With and for these devils. So it's easy for us to get complacent. We just, you know, but the Lord didn't forget. The Lord didn't forget. So it's on the Lord's timing. Everything's on his timing. But boy, you know, it's cold because, you know, the Lord be giving us those Jonah moments, you know. Jonah, here it is. Jonah was pissed the fuck off, man. And Nineveh wasn't destroyed. But, hey, the Lord balanced it out, you know, because when you read the account, hey, Jonah sat under a tree, and the Lord provided him some shade. Or if you're paraphrasing, you know, the Lord gave Jonah comfort. He didn't curse Jonah out for being, for feeling the way that he felt, you know. Because, hey, listen, like the scripture say, be angry and sin not, you know. That's the shit that Esau teaches us, man. You know, you're supposed to be all loving and all forgiving. No, man. Oh. You know, the shit pisses you off. That's why we are bitter. We are bitter. Hey, we are assholes, but I always make the distinguisher. Hey, we're not dicks, all right? We are assholes, but we're not dicks. Listen, you know, you walking into the store, you see a fucking email walking behind you. What are you gonna do? Oh, no, fuck that. You know, try to hurry up and close the door and curse the devil. Nah, man. Hey, I'll hold the door open for the devil. Like I said, we can be assholes, but we're not dicks. I'm not finna sit here and, no, man, fuck that. You know, fucking Esau. No, fuck that. Cursing the devil out and shit. No, man. Hey, just hold the door open for the devil, man. Hey, it's not that serious. It's not that serious. You know, but having that moment, like I said, hey, I was pissed the hell off that the fact that I didn't go back and punch that nigga in the shit. But it's all good because when I got to my destination, hey, the Lord sent a baddie to my liking. You know, something that I like. I'm not talking about a fucking Cardi B and fuck those type of bitches, man. I ain't talking about those type of bitches when I say baddie, but something, the Lord sent me something that I like. I claimed, it's like, damn, yeah, I'm gonna get that. You know, I'm gonna get that. You know, I got daughters, get some daughters for brothers, yes sir. You know, it's just that moment of comfort, relief. Because like I said, it's a Jonah moment. Jonah was pissed the fuck off, but then hey, the Lord he comforted Jonah. When you read the account, he comforted Jonah. Basically calmed him down. Hey, man. And that was my Jonah moment. You know, Lord calm my ass down, because boy. And not only that, because when I turned on the music on, hey, it was some song, Murder on My Mind, by some one of these stupid jakes, man. One of these little YNs. Murder on My Mind. That was the song. That was the title of the song. That was the title of the song. So, you know, you can't make this shit up. And on top of that, I see 144. So you can't make this shit up. You know, you can't make the Lord up, man. You know, the Lord has his ways. The Lord has his ways. But reading this again in 1 Timothy 6:6. But godliness with contentment is great gain. So again, basically, like I said, put on the fruits of the Spirit, integrity. You know, like I keep saying, it took a lot. It took the Spirit of the Lord to really not get me there. Me to not turn around and punch that devil dead in his shit. It took the Spirit of the Lord. The fact that I was pissed off at the fact that I didn't turn around and get carnal about the shit. Hey, the Lord had to calm my ass down. But just an example of putting on the fruits of the Spirit on the Lord's time, man. Everything's on the Lord's time. It says, "For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain that we can carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content." So there it is again. All right. The Lord's going to give us what we need to suffice us. The Lord's going to give us what we need, dog. Just enough. The Lord knows us better than we know ourselves. So just trust the process. Trust the process. Stay occupied, man. Because it's easy, boy. It's easy, man, to gear off the tracks. To gear off. It's easy. Stay occupied. Stay prayed up, as our apostles, bishops, brothers are always telling us, especially as of lately. And again, to quote my elder Isaiah, man, hey, pray to the Lord to maintain our patience, because that's another thing I've been noticing about myself, and I'm sure I can speak for others, man. My patience has been running thin. Like I said earlier, man, it's getting harder to hide the fact. We think one thing, but we keep to ourselves, but it's getting harder to hide the fact. Our expressions. Go back to the post that I posted. Hey, what the fuck is there to smile about? There's nothing to smile about. Yeah, we have our moments, but even with that being said, I'm gonna read this. Well, I'm gonna finish this out, verse 9. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which down men in destruction and perdition. So, and it goes on to say, for the love of money, not money, but it says the love of money is the root of all evil. But that's why, again, the Lord gives us just what we need, because it's not our rest. We have no continuous city. All right. So just hold on. But I was going to get this. Where's it at? That's Proverbs 14. Yeah, Proverbs 14 and 13. Even in laughter, the heart is sorrowful. Because, listen, and we say this all the time. Well, we used to say it. We used to say it here in Orlando, GMS Orlando. Hey, say the tears for the call, man. Say the tears for the call. Because, yeah, when we're fellowshipping, when brothers are amongst one another, we're fellowshipping. And we're having a good time. We're in the spiritual realm. We're in heaven. But on the back of our mind, we know that, hey, man, we say every Saturday, every Sunday, like, man, especially with Sunday, back to the bullshit, back to the bullshit. You can see them brothers' faces, man. Hey, back to the bullshit. But hey, it's all good. Like I said, these weeks are going by quicker and quicker. The fellowships are getting more and more spiritual, more heavy, more precious, man. But still, in the back of our mind, it's just, yeah, we gotta go back to this bullshit. We gotta, we gotta snap back into reality, snap back into it. Again, it says, even in laughter, the heart is sorrowful, and the end of that mirth is heaviness. Like I said, man, we know, it's just on the back of our mind, man. It's like when you're on, and again, it goes to show you why this is not our rest. We need the kingdom. Jay be on a 2-week vacation, and 2-week PTO, paid time off, right? But on the back of Jake's mind, Jake is still thinking about bills. When I gotta, going back to work, it's just no. And that side says it all. That's the side says it all. Like, God damn. Like it says in Romans 8, man, we suffer sufferings, man. We are groanings. There's just so much on Jake's mind. It's not enough words to express how we feel. That's why we need that intercessor, like I was mentioning in the previous video. We need that intercessor. Because there's a lot of times we can't even utter what we're feeling. But the Spirit knows, the Lord knows. The Lord knows. And we see that amongst brothers, Brothers sometimes, hey, how your week been, brother? Brothers can't even articulate the words, but brothers know. Brothers get that look, brothers get that nod. Hey, brothers know. So ultimately, the Lord knows. Yeah, Proverbs 23:4. Since I'm in Proverbs 23:4 says, "Labor not to be rich. Cease from thine own wisdom." You see, because the wisdom of this world, man, is not wisdom. All right, and the wisdom that we're seeking, this is what's bringing forth the kingdom of heaven. That's getting ready to be established on earth. You know, I can't even say it, Lord willing, because I hope we don't make it that long. But this new Fantastic Four movie that's coming out, I don't even know when. Maybe about another week or two. Maybe tomorrow. Actually, I don't know. But it's coming out soon. It's coming out this month. I know that. This new Fantastic Four movie. And old Shorty, man. Hey, we watched the trailer. The Silver Surfer character, man. Hey, she said a cold line. What she said, man? She said, what she say? Because that shit was cold. And it reminds me of this here. But she said something along the lines of heralding heralding his beginning, and she was talking about Galactus, because Galactus was coming. That's basically Yahushua. So the Silver Surfer character in the clip, man, she came through talking about, hey, I'm heralding his beginning, I'm heralding your end. I was like, damn, that shit was cold. And I'm butchering it, but it reminds me of this here in Daniel 3:4. Matter of fact, let's start at 1. Nebuchadnezzar, the king, made an image of gold, whose height was 80 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura, in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar, the king, sent together the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Then the princes and the governors and captains and judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. So verse 4 is a point. Then an herald cried aloud to you, it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages. So hey, before this this great gathering, you could say, because this was when everyone had to bow down to this image, right? But before all that, you had the herald, or the heralds, and we are the Lord one, and we are the heralds of Yahushua. And to echo off of that, like I said, that statement off that clip, man, from the trailer, we are heralding in Yahushua, the kingdom, Yahushua's kingdom. All right, the beginning and the end for Esau, the nations, you wicked 2/3, and we're heralding your end. We're heralds for your end. So this shit's cold, man. This shit's cold. But we are those heralds, man. Those heralds. You see? The Lord is cold with this, man. You know, the Lord, man, is coming in with fashion. Because this was a heathen. So how much more the king himself? How much more the king himself, you know? And they were with it because this is gospel, man. This is gospel. This is the good news. Because goddamn this place. Again, we have no continuing city. Like goddamn, dog. Shit. The hell with this place. You know? But I've rambled enough. Lord willing, this was edifying. Lord willing, this was edifying. Giving all praise to you. How about Shemel Shai? Shalom to you. Hopefully, like.